Let's talk about Sara. Sara is an accountant, a single mom with 2 teenagers. She is the definition of middle class. Her car, which she depends on to go to work, take kids to all their sports and activities, has been acting funny these days. The engine light came on. She's already stressed about money. She took it to mechanic and they gave her an estimate that made her eyes watery. She can afford it technically, but it's going to wipe out a good chunk of her rainy day savings. For days, Sara was a ball of tension. She couldn't focus at work. She was snapping with her kids. She was losing sleep. And why? Because she was trying to control a situation she had zero control over. Now it has already happened. She couldn't magically fix the car with her mind. She couldn't change the estimate. She couldn't control whether the car would break down further. Her suffering wasn't caused by the car repair itself. That was just a fact. Her suffering was caused by her mental, emotional resistance to it. She was clenching her jaw, holding her breath, and trying to force reality to be different than it was. Now imagine if Sara decided to practice letting go. This is what it could look like. Step 1. Notice and acknowledge. Sara notices the tension in her shoulders. She realizes she's stressed. She says to herself, okay, I'm really stressed about this car repair. Step 2. Let's look at what can she control. Can she control that her car needs a repair? No. Can she control the cost? Only a little, by getting a second opinion, which she already did. Can she control where she gets the money? To some extent, maybe she can move money around from her budget. Can she control her reactions to this situation? Yes, completely. Act on what you can control. Sara books the repair. She sits down with her budget and looks at her options. She makes a plan. Step 4. Release the rest. This is the hardest part. This is where Sara actively decides, I have done what I can. Now I am choosing to release the worry about the outcome. I will not let this consume my thoughts. I will not let this rob me of the joy of the time I have with my kids today. She might say a little prayer, or do some deep breathing, or just literally imagine herself unclenching her hands and letting the worry float away. Does this mean the car repair magically becomes cheap and easy? No. Does it mean she doesn't have a worry in the world? Of course not. But it means that the suffering around it, the constant anxiety, the tension, the distraction is greatly reduced. She is not trying to control the outcome anymore. She is only controlling her process and her reaction. And that is where her power and her peace lies. This is what we mean by finding true peace. It's not about being a Zen master on a mountaintop. It's about being an accountant and a single mom in a traffic jam and choosing peace in the moment. It's about being a mechanic or a nurse or a teacher or a retail worker and choosing not to carry the burden of things you can't change.